Center, single back is Gibbs. Goff turn, gives it to Jameer, to the end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions. That's the way you make a statement on the road on Monday night to start a football game, straight down the field to the end zone. It is 2nd and goal from the 1. Goff out of the gun, hands it to Montgomery, tries the left side, did not get in. It's going to be 3rd and goal from inside the 1. There, they say he did get in. Late call. There it is. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Better late than never. Out of the gun. Jackson's got it. Running to his right. Wants to throw. Now being pressured. Ball's loose on the ground. It is recovered by Jackson, but it does not matter. That's Lions football. A 4th down stop by this team. Jackson tried to roll out, had a run pass option, and Jack Campbell was there to knock that ball loose. That is a big time stop by that defense.
Yeah, welcome to the Lions Den.
Lions show 4 across the front. There's the snap. Jackson back, looking right. Pressure comes. Jackson still looking. Stepping up. Gonna get hit. Gonna go down. Al-Quadin Mohammed got him. Goff out of the gun. Montgomery to his right. Jared's got it back and looking, throwing right side. Wants Amon-Ra. End zone. Got it. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. What a delivery that time by Goff, where only Amon-Ra with those late hands could pull it in. And the Lions are an extra point away from drawing even once again here in Baltimore. Jackson fakes the give to Henry, wants to throw, steps up, gonna get hit, gonna get spun down again. That's another sack by that Lions defense. That is Al-Quadin Mohammed for the 2nd time tonight. 96, that is big, man. Goff up under center, turns, gives, Amon-Ra flips it out to Gibbs. He's to the house, baby. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Oh, that is beautiful. Goff hands it to Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra flips it to Gibbs, and the Lions have got the lead back. From the Lion 19, Jackson out of the gun. He's got it, wants to throw. Jackson looking, stepping up. Now he's going to get hit, going to go down. Sack back outside the 20-yard line. That football came out, but they're going to say he was down. That is another big play by that Lions defense. Trevor Nowaski with the sack. There's the snap. Jackson back. Jackson looking. Jackson stepping up, rolling to his right, being chased. Still looking. Now he's going to get hit, going down. Taken down again by that Lions defense. Derek Barnes, I see you, 55. That's a big-time play. The Lions stripped it away from Derrick Henry. What a big turn of events, and the Lions have got it now. Goff up under center. Montgomery the single back. Goff fakes to him, wants to throw, does downfield, wants Amon-Ra. Got him, made the catch inside the 40. It's a 1st down, but there's a flag down as well. It's a hold against Baltimore. That is huge.
Pressured by Hutchinson, he goes down again.
All right, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. It's time to flip the page, get away from those Ravens, and start working on those Browns. Detroit Lions doing the same thing, man. They're going to be, I think they're off yesterday. They're in today, getting their head start on what should be a big game in a short week. Obviously, Eric and I are going to be here to break down all of your Lions news and rumors today. Packed show. We'll try to get to all of it, but there's a lot, man. Lions PR, we'll review everything that they have for us. Super Bowl contenders, you're darn right. The Lions are right there, and they should be at the top of the list. Power rankings. Why were the Lions left off? And I did put up a video last night about Shannon Sharpe. I don't think anyone really got what I was putting down. Just based on the comments alone, I don't think anybody got it. So I'm going to leave it alone. Like I said, I'm not walking in and kicking that hornet's nest. I gave you a layup. It's up to you to slam it home. Athletic power rankings, we'll get to that as well. Eric's got a bunch of things with NFL records. We're going to be talking about Dan Orlovsky today and many, many, many more things. All right, good morning. Let's get rolling. Let me get Eric in here. What's up, buddy? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lions fans. What's up? Let's go. Let's get this. I'm ready for Browns.
Man, I am too, and it's going to be a difficult game. I know that a lot of us looked at the schedule preseason like, oh, it's a win. You know, that's a win. There's no reason why we shouldn't, win against the Browns. But how do we forget every year that they have Myles Garrett? And he's just enough, right? And so there's a conversation yesterday. Well, I kind of started with Shannon Sharp and others, talking about Aidan Hutchinson's contract. And Ocho Cinco says he's not going to get $47 million. There's no way. Micah Parsons is a transcending player, yada, yada, yada. Aidan broke his leg, and that's the answer right there. He broke his leg. There's no way that they're going to pay Aidan more than Micah Parsons. And I understand. And then, Sharp bounces back. Well, he's got a rod in his leg now, so his leg is stronger, right? Then they were saying, well, that the NFL franchises like to use things against you. So they're going to drive the price down on Aidan because, well, he's got this major surgically repaired leg, has not had a crazy good season yet. It's only entering week 4 now. This is where we expect Aidan to start to pick up, right? He's got to pick up off of last game. Like Aidan says oftentimes in his press conferences, it's time to stack. You've got to start stacking some wins. He has to start stacking some games. I guess my first question, I know we've talked about Aidan so much over the years, it seems like, but I've just got a simple question for everybody. Maybe a couple of questions. Does Aidan look the same to you right now? Number one. Number two, do you think that Aidan will get back to 2023's level? But I think we need to forget 24. And I say that because there were so many variables, right? Number one, and I know I've said this before too, that he was going up against 3rd and 4th string offensive linemen. And I hear it, we expect that NFL players are all supposed to be great. And in my video, I made the analogy, well, was Broderick Martin great, right? A lot of you that don't like Broderick Martin. Or how about Kobe Sorsdahl? Is Kobe Sorsdahl great? Would you expect him to be able to hold up, Aidan Hutchinson? So I use those two simple analogies because they're Lions players and we should know a lot about them. And the answer is no, they shouldn't be, right? And no, 3rd and 4th stringers shouldn't be able to even come close to holding, what is supposed to be an elite defensive end at bay. It's just not possible, right? It shouldn't be possible. So I don't like to see that from people, or use that argument that these are NFL players and they're all great. Nah, they're not. And that's why you hear analysts will say this, before the game, hey, this is a great matchup for Aidan Hutchinson, man. This is the 3rd week in a row that the offensive line is missing some good players. They're starting left tackles out. They're starting right tackles out. They're starting right guard is out. Aidan should have a feast. Doesn't do anything in the game. Right? Then finally gets, 4.5 sacks, I think it was against the Bucs or something like that. And that was the largest part of his season last year. In 4.5 games, 4.5 sacks in one game, finished with 7 sacks altogether, some of them in garbage time. And so you got this big giant number and you have a bunch of pressures. And that's what people are looking at because through, 10 weeks or whatever, he was still kind of leading, the league. Well, it's because it's not typical to go up against 4 games of subpar offensive linemen in every single game. That's not normal. Aidan had a great opportunity. He capitalized. It's exactly what we would expect him to do. And so that's where people think, man, look at what he was doing last year. Of course he's going to get paid 47. I've heard the number's 53. That's a shocking number. That's way too much money. So to end this little, I don't know, stat spew, I guess. Does Aidan really deserve $47 million for his body of work? That's really the first question. It's not about not keeping Aidan in Detroit, but does he really deserve $47 million for his body of work so far? And Eric, while you're giving me your 2 cents, I'm going to pull up a couple of stats to go along with this. One, I'm going to pull up the double triple team stats. And then the second thing I'm going to pull up is let's compare him to what Myles Garrett's done in the same time.
All right. So I'm going to go a little further with this, and we're going to go back 18 games. 18 consecutive games. So we're going to put them all together. Would this surprise you that Detroit Lions edge rusher Aidan Hutchinson has set a franchise record by producing a QB hit in 18 straight games?
Franchise record.
Yep, franchise.
Franchise.
Yep. So he's hit the quarterback at least one time in 18 straight games. So he's hitting the quarterback. So this isn't just a pressure, because I think everybody gets at least one pressure in every game. This is hitting the quarterback in 18 straight games. So that's pretty good. We've never had a player do that.
Well, no, it's a franchise record, but it's also the Lions we're talking about for 60 years of futility, right? If you want me to be the devil's advocate on this one, I'm going to say, well, we sucked for 60 years and we had maybe 2 or 3 good defenses in that time span. Maybe in the last 30 years, we had 2 or 3 good defenses. So I would say that doesn't excite me. I mean, it excites me because he's doing something. It doesn't excite me because I would ask the question, well, what other teams out there have had a player have a quarterback hit? Mind you, a quarterback hit is just getting to the quarterback right when they release the football.
Yeah.
You know, or
so you touched him.
You touched him. You know, that's it doesn't excite me as much, I guess is where I'm going at with that. But go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you were asking, do you think Aidan is back to his old self? I don't. He is not there yet. And it really surprises me because when we went to training camp, I went twice, and Aidan Hutchinson was blowing everybody up on our offensive line, on the other team's offensive lines, because I went to both dual practices that we were allowed to go to, and Aidan was blowing up the other team's offense. I mean, I guess that the Miami Dolphins and the Texans both suck. Okay, we found that out now. I don't think either one of those teams has won a game yet. I think they're both 0-3. So maybe that's why the Hutch rule was used in practice against those teams. But why was it used in practice against our team? Our offensive line, other than week 1, seems to be back to its normal self.
Okay, so now I'm going to be devil's advocate again on this.
All right.
Here's what we know about muscle memory.
Yeah.
And this is why our team, any team, when they get their first crack in a preseason game or their first crack at a joint practice, that's why it is so heated and there's usually fights and everything else. They're itching so bad to see a different color jersey on the other side. And the reason why, and you heard it from Manu, right? Manu actually said this, and I think I still have the video clip of it. It's definitely in the Lions media sessions where he said, over time, he's like, I was getting sick of this because these guys know me now. They know my tendencies. And I'm paraphrasing. It's not an exact quote from him, but they know exactly what he's going to do. And when you know exactly what the other player is going to do, it's pretty easy to set them up and to win, right? Especially for a younger guy like Manu. Same thing for Penei Sewell, right? We know that his pass blocking is not great. So I'm going to throw this back at you and say, yes, our offensive line as a whole, the last 2 games has played incredibly well. 0 sacks in 2 games. The other problem I see is that Penei Sewell's pass pro is not great, right? If you look at a league standard from a left or a right tackle perspective and a top money earner, their pass pro is like 10 points better on average. And that's big time, right? And even though he may not be giving up a ton of sacks or anything like that, his pass pro still lacks. And so my argument here would be you're going up against your own players day in and day out. At some point, you're going to have them figured out. It's just like this, man. You'll know by looking at a player's feet. Okay, Penei just moved his right foot, pointed out towards the outside, towards the side, the sideline. He's anchoring going right. Oh, Penei put his left foot back, his right foot forward. He's climbing to the second level. Oh, his feet are almost equal. He's got his left arm on his knee. He's crashing left. You figure these things out, and that's why you study film, because players will pick that up and they'll see tendencies on your opponent this week. They're looking at that offensive line and they're looking, okay, how did he set up? And on this inside duo, how did he set up? Okay, the next duo, how did he set up? He did the same thing. But yet on the next play, his body positioning changed a little bit, right? So you pick up on these things. It gets easier to beat your own team. It gets easier and easier and easier to beat your own guys. So that's why that true test is preseason. That true test is a joint practice. I'm not poo-pooing, right? I'm coming with facts and stats. That's different. Not an Aidan hater. I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit this morning. It's all I'm trying to do. So before you say I'm a hater, maybe you need to go back and re-listen to what I just said. So now that I said that, does he make $47 million or more?
Because he's the next man up, he does.
Okay, what if he wasn't the next man up?
But he's the next man up. He's a former first round, our very first pick, number 2 overall, because the Jacksonville Jaguars are idiots. And it's going to have, he just happens to be next in line at a position that gets premium pay. And, it's going to happen. It sucks. I wish they would have gotten it done last year, or they would have gotten it done in the off season before all this stuff happened. Then, if we would have had him locked in at $31 million a year, or whatever Trey Hendrickson was trying to get, let's say $31.1 million a year. Okay. Mm-hmm. How happy would you be right now?
Yeah. See, the problem though is
You'd be fine
so
with
as a first round draft pick, you can renegotiate your contract after 3 seasons. Now a team can do whatever they want, but the way the rules are set up, you cannot renegotiate a contract or ask for a new contract. I mean, I guess you could ask, but the way the rules are set up with the NFLPA is you don't get a new contract till after 3 seasons. So he would have had to have waited 3 seasons, which would have been what? 22, 23, 24. Breaks his leg in 24. So that threw that out the window. This is basically his 2024 season. And that's why for the entirety of the offseason, I said it's not going to happen because he has to go through his full season this year. Here's a good question. Did Aidan even accrue a season last year? He wasn't up for 6 games. So did he even accrue a full season from NFL, PA standards? I don't honestly know that answer. I've never even thought about looking. That's an interesting argument in and of itself. Like if he didn't accrue another season, if he doesn't have 3 seasons accrued because of injury, and I'm sure there's rules that say that he did or something because of the injury he was on in, IR or whatever. I'm sure there's some rule. I just can't remember it right now. The point is, I think that you want to see what a player does for 3 seasons before you ever entertain giving them a new contract or extending, the contract. If it were me with Aidan, if I were Brad Holmes, I'm sorry, I would put him through the 5th-year option, and then I would consider doing something, because you could essentially tag him twice. And then you probably don't need him after that point. So after 2028, you probably would, say, all right, we're going in a different direction. It's hard, right, to separate the love for a player, the hometown guy, the hometown kid, the U of M guy, the Michigan guy. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to separate all that from a fan's perspective. From a business perspective, you have to be able to shut that off and say what's good for our team. And that's where this is very hard for me, because I'm one of the biggest fans you're ever going to meet, right? I'm no better than you. I'm no better than anybody else, but I'm one of the biggest fans of this team that you're ever going to meet. I've been in it to win it since I was 4 years old. And through all the bull crap that we've been through, I've never wavered once. But now that this team is where it is, it's hard for me to say, yeah, Pay 2 players a combined $120 million a year. Pay 3 players a combined $150. Pay 4 players a combined $175. Pay 5 players a combined $200. Hell no. We're going to be ruined. And that's the biggest argument with all this. So I don't want to go too deep in it. I want to throw 2 more things at you. And that is the double, triple chip rates by PFF. So this is something that is done every single week. Some premium content we're bringing to you guys through PFF. It was just updated yesterday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Aidan Hutchinson, season to date, has been chipped 30% of plays. And a chip is what? It's a single block with either a tight end, we'll just say another player, but usually a tight end, a running back, a halfback, a receiver, somebody, or it could be even a swing tackle coming in, making contact with you, and then either picking up another block or releasing, to run a route. That's what a chip is. The double team, that is when actually 2 players, 2 offensive linemen and a receiver, lineman and a running back, usually it's 2 linemen. They can, they will take you on at the same time, right? They stay engaged at the same time. That's double team. Triple team, although it's extremely rare, and I have not gone through and watched every snap of Aidan, but I will tell you I probably will throughout the rest of the week. And I'm going to deliver my report on Aidan, is when 3 players make contact and stay engaged. It is so rare to see that because usually one of those 3 has to peel off and they have to pick up another player. I doubt PFF has got these numbers right. They're saying that Micah Parsons is triple teamed 11.34% of the time. They're saying that Aidan Hutchinson is triple teamed 10% of the time. They're saying that Deshaun Hand is triple teamed 11.54% of the time. Travis Jones, 10.81. Jamari Caldwell, 15.25% of the time. Braden Fisk, 10.71% of the time. Harrison Phillips, 14.75% of the time. Chris Jenkins, 16.39% of the time. And I'm calling BS because if you're constantly tripling a team over 10% of your snaps on pass pro or in passing plays, someone has to be open. If you're triple teaming someone, that should be an automatic sack.
Well, we did get 7 sacks against the Ravens.
Yeah, we did. But what I'm saying is it's not game specific. It's, this is season to date. So I just think it's BS. I have, just kind of like All 22 said the other day, like he had a little bit of doubt that people can actually pull these stats together this quickly. Because that's a lot of tape. I mean, you're asking at least, probably 32 people to look at 32 teams and watch all of the snaps and get every single one of them right.
Yeah, that's got to be a lot more than 32 people.
Exactly. Right. It has to. So if you do 32 people times 22 players on the field is what you would really need.
Yeah.
Every person would have to be locked in on a player. I mean, how can they spit all that information out in a matter of hours? It doesn't make sense. That's why you have to watch the tape. Point that I'm making. If Aidan is chipped 30% of the time, doubled 60% of the time, and tripled, how's it all even numbers? 10% of the time. All even. No point this, point that. All even. I'm calling BS. Double, yeah, I can see.
Everybody else on that sheet has point something.
Exactly. So it's kind of weird, right? Kind of weird. I don't trust it. But those are the numbers. And then Myles Garrett on that same list is chipped 31.65% of the time, doubled 69.62% of the time, tripled 7.59% of the time.
Yeah, your opening question to me was, does Hutch look the same this year, or how is he looking? Well, he hasn't looked the same yet. But I was just looking at PFF and things are starting to look a little more encouraging for me. And towards the end of the game, I kind of realized that, Hutch is starting to look a little more like Hutch when he punched that ball out So in the first game of the year, his defensive PFF grade was 72. And then in the second game was 80.8. And then last week was 91.8 on Monday night. So he's on a trend. He's going up like this. So I don't mind seeing that out of his grades. And that's kind of what you see with your eyes too. He started out really slow and it's kind of a slow burn, but he's on a nice trajectory. We got to see what happens over the course of 17 games, but it's nice to see that his grades are going up as well as his stats are going up.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I was going to point out, because we're going up against Myles Garrett this week, is Myles Garrett has very similar double team chip rates and all that stuff to Aidan, right? He actually has more. He's tripped and double teamed according to PFF more than Aidan, and he's triple teamed 2.5% less. Myles Garrett has 5 sacks. He has 11 stops. He has 8 hurries, 1 hit, and 14 pressures on the season. So the point that I'm trying to make is he's making $40 million a year. That is the bar to me. If you're going to pay Aidan anywhere north of $40 million, he has to beat out the guy making $40 million. I don't know where NFL salaries got lost. Like, okay, you're next up, you're going to get the most money. It shouldn't work that way. The way that it should work is it should work like this. Are you currently better than the guy making $40 million? No? Then you don't make $40 million. Are your stats better? I mean, if you look at, and it's a slippery slope, right? Because they're not playing the same quality of teams at the same time. But look, tape is tape, man. Film is film. You know what you're doing on tape. And I mean, Dan Campbell had to call Aidan out, quietly called him out, saying you got to keep your feet on the ground. Can't be bouncing around. Can't be jumping around. You can't be doing that. And there's only one player on our team that was doing that on defense.
Does this end up being an outlier? This Parsons contract, because like when Watson went to the Browns for a couple of seasons, he was the highest paid guy, even though the next guy up, everybody thought, oh, everybody's going to get 50 and get 250 guaranteed now. And it didn't happen. So I think his contract may be an outlier, kind of like the Browns was, because this was a desperation move by the Packers. I don't care what anyone says. This was desperation. They gave up multiple first round picks. They gave up all sorts of crap for him. They gave up one of their best interior defensive rushers for him. They get him, and to get him, they had to give him the contract he wanted. So the Packers had no place to stand. They had no
leverage when they were trying. They're trying to make their team better. Let's pause for one quick sec. We got the NFL 30 at 30. Be right back. Game time, Detroit, and you found the right place for the latest Detroit Lions news. So hop on in and take the ride to Super Bowl 60 with Rocked On Detroit Lions. Join Will Rock, Eric Rintamaki, and Riley O'Brien today on the Rise and Grind Morning Show. Good morning. All right, your quick NFL 30 at 30 this morning, since it's Wednesday, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the offensive line. We're going to go to offensive line rankings, and then we'll give a full breakdown here in just a little bit. Number 1 right now, according to PFF, Philadelphia Eagles, no change. They're staying in first place. Offensive line was excellent in pass protection in their team win over Kansas City. Number 2, Denver Broncos. They also looked good once again. Outstanding in pass pro this past week. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills. No change for the top 3. Their third-year right guard, Osiris Torrance, who had a lot of questions in the first couple of seasons, had a solid game in pass pro this past week. Indianapolis Colts, man, where did they come from, right? We expected them to be good this year. No change. They're at number 4. Your Los Angeles Chargers moved up 1 spot to number 5. Baltimore Ravens went down 1. Down 1. That should have a 0 behind it. They should be down 10. How did the Baltimore Ravens somehow end up at number 6 and let up 7 sacks on Lamar Jackson? Whereas the Los Angeles Rams made a huge jump going up 5 spots. The Cardinals also went up 3 spots to number 8. The Green Bay Packers went down to 1, which we always love when the Packers are moving down. And number 10, San Francisco 49ers, they went up 4. I usually only do the top 5, but I'm trying to find the Lions. Where are the Lions? They just had 2 crazy good games in a row. Well, your Detroit Lions are coming in at number 16 behind the Minnesota Vikings, and that's your NFL 30 at 30. All right, do you remember what you were saying?
Nope.
So I forgot to tell you, when we look at the clock.
Talking about Hutch and what he should make, and is Parsons' contract, is it an outlier? Did he make more than he should have? Yes. Because before that, the standard was $41 million. So everyone was thinking that Parsons was going to get $41.1 million. So he'd make $1 more than everyone else. Well, he didn't. He had the Green Bay Packers in desperation mode because you know who else was on the board looking at Parsons? The Philadelphia Eagles and a couple other teams that were more than willing to pay Parsons more than $41 million a year. So when you have a bidding war for a player, things are going to happen like this. And I think it's an outlier. I don't think the next guy to get a contract is going to get what Parsons got. Let Parsons be the unclaimed, whatever, best defensive edge in the world. Let him have the most money for the next 3-4 seasons. Who cares? So I think that Hutch, if Brad does it right, gets him for 41 million.
If he does it right. Yeah. I would say, I said this before the season.
I lost your audio.
You lost my audio.
Can't hear you.
You should be able to hear me just fine. Nothing's changed. Let me check the stream. You should be able to hear me.
You muted? No.
No, and the stream can hear me just fine.
Oh, somehow when I unmuted, I hit that green.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Roadcaster. That's why. Jeez.
Two quick things. Number one, when we see the clock at 2 minutes, 3 minutes before the 30s, we try to not roll into an extra segment so that we know to pause there at just before. It's new for us. We just got to get it down. Hold on here. I was doing something.
And I don't know if it was smart of Brad to wait to see what Hutch is going to do this year, see how he comes over overcomes this injury, or if he should have got it done before, because we might have possibly got him done in the 30s.
Yeah, well, they would had to have gotten him done before Myles Garrett to be able to get him done in the 30s, and that's where I projected his contract to be in that 33 to 35 range. It doesn't matter if you get him done now or at the beginning of next season. There's no other edge rushers getting a contract done. Everybody's done.
Yeah.
The only person that's really not done is Trey Hendrickson on a full extension. That's the only player that's really not done. And so it really doesn't matter. And to your point about, should they have waited? Yeah, they should have. I mean, dude just shattered his leg. Hey, you have to wait. Why? I mean, otherwise, no player's going to sign a contract that says you'll get $40 million or $35 million if, and then a list of 100 things that you have to do to hit it. No one's going to sign that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's what the Lions would have had to have done, is give him a laundry list of, things that he had to hit. So is what it is, man. Is what it is. We'll move off of this today. It'd be interesting to see what goes down. When he does get his contract, how much is it going to be? How much guaranteed money is going to be in it? That's the question, right? If I'm the Lions, final thought, if I'm the Lions, no matter what, if you're going to pay this dude north of $40 million, it better have incentive-laden markers in there to say you get a base guarantee of 30% of this contract. You can earn all of it, but you have to have 15 plus tackles. You have, or 15 plus sacks. You have to have 30 TFLs. You have to play in, 15 out of 17 games plus the postseason, yada, yada, yada. I think that's the smart way to do it, right? That's the smart way to do it. But again, agents don't like their players to sign that stuff. They want a contract that they can make money on. And, if Aidan's smart, he would sign it because Lions are giving you an opportunity. You have to bet on yourself, right? You just got to bet on yourself. All right, moving forward, man. I know you got some things we'll get to here in just a moment here talking about Dan Orlovsky. We'll get into that in just a moment. But let's go to this. Let's transition to this. Was Dan Campbell calling plays on Monday night? It's been circulating for the last 24 hours. I've got an argument for this. But Eric, you tell us, man, what are they talking about?
Yeah, so Dan Orlovsky, after the Monday night game, he tweeted out that he thinks Dan Campbell, not John Morton, was calling plays versus the Ravens on Monday Night Football. And there was multiple tweets, one by Orlovsky and one by Jennifer Hammond, who said, I also went and asked my producer the same exact thing. Is Dan Campbell calling the plays from the sideline? And who's really calling the shots? Well, I would like to debunk the baseless theory about the Lions' offensive mastermind. ESPN analyst and former NFL quarterback Dan Orlovsky is creating speculation that head coach Dan Campbell is secretly calling the offensive plays for the Lions, not new offensive coordinator John Morton. Orlovsky's theory is based on seeing Dan Campbell holding a playbook on the sideline while Morton calls plays from the coach's booth. Well, one, Campbell has always carried a playbook on the sideline, even when Ben Johnson was the coordinator. Now, before, it was like a laminated sheet that he had on a string thing that, zipped in and out on his belt. And during the Monday night game, he had a hard foam core board with plays on both sides. So it was a little different, but same thing. Number two, after the Lions scored 52 points against the Bears, players in the locker room specifically gave credit to Morton for the game that he called. Okay. And then number three, speculation. The speculation is a baseless conspiracy theory. And he's stating this in a he's trying to repeat the past situation with former offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn, and where Dan Campbell did take over the play calling, even though no one knew about it for a couple of games, right? Really, really thin. And for Dan to be playing the calls, one, he would have to find the play on the play sheet that he wants. He would have to call it up to Morton. And then Morton would have to call it back down to Goff in 15 seconds. And have you ever played the telephone game before?
I brought this up a while ago talking about telephone.
Things, even if you're doing two people, from one person to the next, back to the person it's going to, something can get lost in translation. Because if you're saying, okay, I want jet sweep 45, whatever the name of the call is, and I want Amon-Ra to run a dig route on this play, but I want you to throw it to Sam Laporta because he's going to be open. But if he's not open, then throw it back to whoever or run the ball yourself. And you can't give all the information that you need to give. And he has 15 seconds to do all this. It's just not enough time, and things are going to get lost in translation. And you didn't see Dan Campbell on the sideline, because I rewatched the game last night. I watched the Manning cast, which was 1,000 times better than the actual broadcast. Those guys are funny. They brought on Jeff Daniels. He sang the song again. They showed the bathtub with the gin in it. It was awesome. And for all that to happen with 15 seconds, because Morton's the only one that has the ability to talk to Goff in his headset. Dan Campbell does not have that ability. He has the ability to talk to Morton, but he doesn't have the ability to talk down. So I just think, this controversy's come up because of Dan Orlovsky and nothing else. And Dan Orlovsky is grasping at straws because he came out the last couple of weeks and said the Lions window was closed. And now he's backpedaling. He's trying to find a way. Oh, see, it was Dan all the time, because what he was saying when he said the window was closed, why did he say the window was closed? He said it because he thought that our new offensive coordinator was going to suck because he had one bad game. One. His very first game as the coordinator for the Lions was a clunker.
Yes,
so he thought,
sorry,
he thought he could pour it on, and that the window was closed, and that was it. And that was his big thing. If you watched him on all the shows for after the first week of the season, that's it. The Lions are done. They're going to be lucky to win 2 games this season. Well, now he's backpedaling, and he has to find a way to get around it. Oh, well, it wasn't Morton after all. It was Dan Campbell calling the plays.
All right, so I want to clarify a couple of things.
Sure.
Number one, the cutoff with the communication is 15 seconds left on the play clock.
Oh, okay.
What I don't know, maybe I didn't say that clearly yesterday or last night. What I don't know is, when can the communication start? I don't know if the communication can start at the start of the clock or if it can start at the end of the play. I don't know.
I think it's the start of the game clock.
I have not been able to find that little nuance in the rule book. So only one offensive player, obviously per team, can wear a radio-equipped helmet on offense and defense, or it's typically, it's obviously your Mike linebacker or Jared Goff. There's one-way communication, strictly one way, so it's coach to player. The players can't communicate back. We do know that. There's only speakers in the helmet, no microphones.
Mm-hmm.
The time restriction, again, it's 15-second mark on the play clock. After that, the quarterback must, rely on memory signals and audible calls, obviously. And then to take this a little bit further, multiple coaches do have access to the communication system that can connect to the quarterback's helmet. However, to your point, you can only have one voice active at a time. So even though they have a multiple channel, toggle thing that usually on the side of that big box inside their hip, that there's like maybe 4 channels or however many channels there are. I don't know. I've never seen one. But you could toggle between, let's say, channel 1 is Jared Goff, channel 2 is Jack Campbell, channel 3 is John Morton, channel 4 is, Hank Fraley, and channel 5 is Kelvin Shepard. You know what I'm saying? So you can toggle between those, and then you usually have like the wide open chatter. So you have the sideline chatter. Obviously, you have now the box chatter with Morton. But typically, it's just one offensive play caller. So it's head coach or offensive coordinator is the one that's speaking directly to the quarterback. Could Dan Campbell technically call in a play? Yes, he could. But that would cut off communication from John Morton. Could Dan Campbell be communicating with John Morton between plays? I have not necessarily seen that from Dan Campbell where he's communicating during the play to somebody. Maybe immediately after the play. I always see Dan immediately after the play. He starts walking down the sideline. He's talking to somebody. And then at some point it changes, right? The play is getting called into Jared Goff. So technically, yes, he could be calling in the plays. He could be giving the play to John Morton. John Morton could be communicating that. What I heard from Justin Rogers, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I messaged him and asked him, hey, what's the communication like? I can't remember the exact question I asked him, but I asked him what the communication was, to Jared Goff, or who's communicating to the sideline. And the way it was explained in a post that I put up on X is Shaw is the one that's doing all the communication to the players on the sideline for the offense. So Morton communicates to Shaw. Shaw communicates to the players. Obviously, Hank Fraley's communicating to his guys, right? Each coach is communicating to their positional group. But Shaw is the one that is relaying that information. And again, to your point, yeah, I would hope that communication going from one player or one person to the next is not getting lost, like they're not forgetting stuff, but it happens. It could be loud, it could be crazy, and you may not relay the same information. You could have a play breakdown because of that. So it's just the whole premise of your conversation here, or this topic is Dan Campbell calling plays? Now, I missed the part on Dan Orlovsky window close. What was that?
That was early in the season. They were all talking about, is the window closed for the Lions now after they lost the Packers, and they're not going to win any games because they got new coordinators and yada, yada, yada. The whole lazy narrative about our coordinators. It rubbed me the wrong way listening to all the shows with Dan Orlovsky and all the guys from NFL Network, and it got to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't stand Dan Orlovsky. That's why I put on Twitter the other day. I said, you forgot Jared Goff. I mean, have you looked at his stats for the last, not 5 games or not 3 games, but the last 2.5 years, 2.5 seasons? And I said, hashtag stay in bounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm messing with the guy. And then what's funny is immediately after the Monday night game, we get another post from Dan Orlovsky that says, adding Goff to the top 5 list now because of the Monday night play. Huh. Must have got, someone must have got to him. I'm not saying it was me, but someone must have got to him. I called him a clown, man. I told him to tuck in his mushroom and turn in his man card. This is what I told him. Tuck it in and turn it in, buddy. Just turn it in. So done with you. As a former Detroit Lion that he has no respect whatsoever. And he doesn't have to, but he has zero respect. And now what he's doing is he's trying to create this conspiracy theory that it's Dan Campbell that's been calling plays. Well, guess what? He's not totally wrong for saying that. But is he accurate? Maybe not. I mean, did I not say multiple times I expected this to maintain Dan Campbell's offense? Like, it's been Dan Campbell's offense. I know I've said it a ton. I don't expect anything different. It's Dan Campbell's offense. He's the one, with John Morton in the very beginning that started to construct this thing with Jared Goff. Dan's fingerprints are all over it, man. He's an offensive guy. That's just what he specializes in. But he goes into every room. He's involved in everything. So whether or not that he's actually calling plays, we'll probably never know. Is he, giving Morton a little bit of a nudge and saying, hey, I'd like to go here on this play? I think we need to go here on this series? Probably. I would expect that. But I don't think it's a conspiracy. That if that were happening, I don't think that that's a conspiracy. I don't think that there's anything to it. I think all teams do that. That their head coach, who is the head coach for a reason, has some say in what the team's going to do. So, yeah, whatever, Dan.
Yeah. See, I used to love Dan Orlovsky.
I used
really
to too.
did.
He used to support us.
And listen, I used to support him like crazy. In 2008, when the Lions went 0-16, I was there to support him. He played in 10 games. He had 143 completions on 255 attempts. He had a 56.1 completion percentage. He threw for 1,616 yards. That's it for the whole season for 10 games. Jared Goff does that in 5 games.
Right.
His average was 6.3. He threw 8 touchdowns and 8 interceptions with 14 sacks and a rating of 72.6. And I was there for every single game. I never wavered. I watched every game, rooted for him in every game, and he sucked. And then he retired from the NFL after the 2015 season, right? And he came back to Detroit for a season. And most people don't remember that. He had 2 starts.
How many times did he step out of bounds that season?
Yeah, I think that was the season that he stepped out of bounds. Yeah. And, you know, I supported him after that even. And he now turns his back on the Lions and is a traitor. But if you listen to Megatron, you know, Calvin Johnson, he was on with, what's her face again yesterday? Kay Adams.
Yeah.
And he was on the Kay Adams show, and he was just, you know, gushing over the Lions and saying how, you know, he has a text thread with Nate Burleson and a couple other guys. And after the game, they were getting on texting each other and saying, "Oh, what a great game," and blah, blah, blah. You know, oh, the Lions are doing great this year. Not Dan Orlovsky. He's like, damn, I had it wrong. You know, so man, to me, he's starting to be like a traitor. I'm starting to get Ben Johnson vibes from this guy.
Yeah, Ben Johnson's something else, man.
Yeah, although I was happy for Ben Johnson.
You know what I noticed?
He got his first win.
You know what I noticed about Ben Johnson?
What's that?
Have you guys noticed this? I should have done some content on this, like made some memes or something. Have you guys seen Ben Johnson's lats lately?
What's a lat?
Come on, dude. You don't know what a lat is? It's muscle on the backside of you. Right
oh,
here.
okay, yeah.
Right
Yeah.
Here.
Okay, yeah.
You gotta get, you know, the lat wings going.
Yeah.
It looks like that dude's, you know, drinking some extra juice, because he's definitely put on some bulk. And Ben is like the mini Dan Campbell now is what he looks like. He's trying, yeah, he's trying to get all bulked up. I think it's hilarious. Like dude, just, you know what? Just go sniff Dan Campbell's underwear while you're at it. Jeez, like this guy.
I'll say this though. I was actually happy when they beat the Cowboys last week. I mean, I was actually rooting for him to win. And it was nice to see him get his first win, get that monkey off his back. I wish the same would have happened for Aaron Glenn last week. They had it, and then a blocked field goal. Yeah.
You know, I'm taking this too far.
Yeah.
Here's what Ben Johnson would say after he sniffs Dan Campbell's underwear.
Oh, God.
Oh, it smells like victory. That's exactly what he would be saying. You
need just that soundbite. Smells like victory.
Yeah. Megan just opened the door. She's like, "You okay?" You must not be listening this morning.
Oh, crap. How did we get on this?
Because Ben Johnson is, golly, man. Oh, looks like we're already up to 30 and 30.
All right.
We're getting there. About 2.5 more minutes. My countdown has the wrong time. How's that? How's it wrong?
I don't know.
It's a 1:00 game on Sunday, right?
Yep.
Well, if it's a 1:00 game, it should be right, unless it's set to 1 a.m. or something.
No,
maybe it has the wrong date. I can't read it.
No, okay. Somebody say it was wrong.
I'll have to check. Yeah. I did it last minute this morning. I could have sworn that I fixed all of the sound bites last night. Where's all my sound bites?
I don't know.
Yeah, welcome to the Lion's Den.
Whatever. We'll get there.
There it is. I heard it.
Yeah, that one's there. I know that one's there, but I put a bunch of other ones on there and I don't see them. All right, 30 at 30. We'll be right back. time, Detroit, and you found the right place for the latest Detroit Lions news. So hop on in and take the ride to Super Bowl 60 with Rocked On Detroit Lions. Join Will Rock, Eric Rintamaki, and Riley O'Brien today on the Rise and Grind Morning Show. Good morning. All right, your Week 4 NFL Power Rankings continues. This time we're talking about team power rankings. I like to go with just the top 5. I do. But if the Lions are not in the top 5, I have to go a little bit deeper. Let's see if the Lions are making it into the top 5. As of yesterday at 9 o'clock in the morning, Philadelphia Eagles still remain at the top at number 1, 3-0. Buffalo Bills at number 2. Los Angeles Chargers at number 3. San Francisco 49ers at number 4. I didn't think that this was a team that was going to do anything this year. Oh, wait, look at that. Your Detroit Lions come in at number 5. That's your NFL 30 at 30. We're going to be talking about power rankings when we get back here in just a moment.
Pressured by Hutchinson, he goes down again.
All right, it's 9 o'clock, man. We are turning the page to a new hour. Appreciate you guys all joining us today on the Rise and Grind Morning Show. Just do us a huge favor. I'm going to be handing out memberships. Do me a favor and subscribe. Let's push this thing beyond 10,000 already. And literally, let's push this thing, another 5,000 before the season's done. The goal, 5,000 a year. That's it. Just 5,000. If we get more, great. But I tried to give away tickets to a game to hit 10,000. I guess nobody wants to go to a Lions game this year. We gave away some really nice mini helmets during the game stream. If you guys do game streams, you like to join game streams. When I'm not at the game, we do a game stream. So get in, check out the game streams. I think they're a little bit more fun, laid back, and we have a good time in them. But we also give a lot of cool stuff away to help you with, well, because you help us, right? The money that comes into this channel, it goes back out to the fans. That's what it's all about. It also goes into the Rockhound Cancer Foundation to be able to help our local communities. Eventually, soon, I'm hoping next year we can finally get the screenings going. Been working on getting what's it called? The ultrasound tech and ultrasound equipment and a blood bank to be able to do blood labs, and so that we can do free screenings for people for thyroid cancer. That's what it's all about. And let's not forget, man, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll be doing something special for that too. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, let's just roll right into power rankings unless there's something that you absolutely want to cover.
No, let's do it.
Okay. Eagles at number 1. Agree or disagree?
I'll agree for now. They were really, really close to being beat by the Rams, but man, they can block field goals, and apparently Carter can run them all the way back. I guess he broke a record for the fastest big man, over 330 pounds. He hit 18 miles an hour or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of inertia and then momentum going, man. He gets moving.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll agree for now too. Like they don't look like the same team, but look, the Super Bowl champs are always going to be number 1 until they really fall off. But to your point, yeah, this was a game that was lost. They should have lost, and the Rams let them in this game. Rams have a really good defense, so with what the Eagles put down, and being able to pull this game out 33-26, the score does not represent the game at all. What they're saying is the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, has cold-blooded confidence. 336-pound Jordan Davis rumbled his way to the end zone on the game's final play. Eagles sideline bounced with excitement. Jalen Hurts watched without reaction. If you didn't know any better, you might have thought the Eagles just lost in a painful fashion. I didn't know that Hurts was not excited about winning. Maybe he put money the other way. Just saying. But Hurts is now 17-0 in the last 17 games. He started and finished. That's a pretty damn good stat. 17-0 in the last 17 games. He pretty much has an undefeated season under his belt right now. The guy just wins is what they're saying. And yeah, I'm watching that replay right now of Davis. Just an insane return.
Well, their big test is going to be this Sunday
Yeah.
at 1:00. They are playing at the Buccaneers.
I'm calling the loss right now.
So I'm gonna look something up really quick here.
So there was some communication yesterday coming down from somebody, I'm not sure from who, that the NFL might try to call an emergency meeting over the tush push. I
Really?
guess the whole thing about the tush push is not that it's a play that they want removed from the NFL. It's that you can't officiate it. You can't see anything. So they're saying, either invest in more cameras for every game, which, look, the NFL's got a problem already. Look, every game should look the same. We should have 50 cameras to be able to see all the angles. And to All 22's point too, he said we should be able to toggle to the camera the view that we want to see. I think you said that too.
And the audio we want.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can. It's just the audio usually doesn't match up. The issue that I see here, I guess I agree. If you can't see what's going on in the scrum, it's hard to officiate if an actual penalty happened. So you need some camera angles, and then it should just be reviewed every single time. Which, yeah, it'll slow up the momentum of the game, and it would make it, less fun to do. But maybe then they would stop using it. So we'll see if the NFL actually calls an emergency meeting for this and try to get the competition committee together to make sure that there's a way to officiate it better in the future. I think it's a little bit too late in the season, from my perspective, to probably get something done. But we'll see where it goes. Buffalo Bills are number 2. Agree or disagree?
I almost have to disagree. They might have to be number 1. I wasn't thinking about the Buffalo Bills and the Eagles. I think the Buffalo Bills have been more impressive. I really do. Josh Allen's on fire. Now they're playing a bunch of not really great teams coming up. Like this Sunday, they're playing the Saints at 1:00, and the Saints are horrible this year. They haven't won a game. So the Bills are favored by 14 points in that game, or 16.5 points now. Wow.
Jeez. Better take
where
points
the Philadelphia Eagles, they're favored by 3.5 over the Bucs this weekend. So if I had to do it over again and make my own list, I might put the Buffalo Bills at number 1 over the Eagles right now. Because I think if the Eagles and the Buffalo Bills played a game today on a neutral site, I think the Buffalo Bills might take the game.
Say that again?
So if I had the Buffalo Bills in their current state and the Eagles, and they played on a neutral field today, I think the Buffalo Bills would win that game.
It's who has the better defense. Both teams have a good offense. It's what defense shows up in that game.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the one thing that I'll say about the Bills is when they traded away a lot of their defensive line, a season or two ago, they just haven't had the defensive line to really stack up every game. And you're seeing these big time boat races because they don't really have a defense. You can't do that against the Eagles. You have to come with some defense. You have to get a stop. So if it's going to be like, does the clock run out or do you get a stop in that game? Buffalo Bills, obviously Josh Allen is the defending MVP. He's already up to 7 touchdowns on the season, 5 passing, 2 rushing, 869 total yards. He's as good as there is right now in the league. Really nothing left for him to prove other than the Super Bowl, man. If I'm watching from afar, I got to see the Lions get in a Super Bowl, obviously, and win one. But I want the Bills to win one. at some point, just not before the Lions. Chargers at number 3. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, for now. Yeah, I would put them at number 3. Now, they're not world beaters, but Justin Herbert seems to be putting it together.
I think that Harbaugh's done an excellent job with Herbert.
Yep.
Whatever he's doing, Herbert looks like a different quarterback this year. Year 6 for Justin Herbert. He's living up to these massive expectations, I think, this season too. He's leading the NFL with 860 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
So he's chucking the ball, man. A lot of explosive plays out of this offense. He has 6 touchdowns, 1 interception on the season. Third best odds to be named MVP right now by BetMGM. They're playing the Giants next on Sunday. That should be a win. Should be, but who knows, man? The Giants might pull one out. Number 4 is the San Francisco 49ers. I disagree with this. What do you think?
Yeah, I like if you're putting one team on fraud alert, I think it might be these guys. Now they beat the Cardinals, but that was another like really weird game, 16-15. And they've got some problems at quarterback. Purdy has been out with a toe injury, and this says that Mac Jones aggravated a PCL strain Sunday, and they play the Jaguars coming up. They've had a weak schedule to start, and Joey Bosa just went out for the season, or was it Nick Bosa? Whichever one of the Bosa brothers that
right?
plays for him. Yeah, he went out for the season. So they've lost a lot of their core players. I don't see San Francisco holding on to the NFC West for very long. This is one of those where you just have a weak schedule. You got lucky with injuries, but now it's starting to unravel a little bit, and the injuries are really starting to bite this team.
No, I'm sorry, you're right. It was Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
It was Nick Bosa. Torn ACL. But you know what? Again, I'm going to throw this out there. How many of you Lions fans wanted Nick Bosa?
Yep.
Right? And I'm going to be very straight up with this. That ACL was going to pop when it did. It's not, I mean, when you look at the injury, I don't think that there was really anything different about it other than that's what ACLs do. Matter of fact, I was trying to find the video. Which I'm not going to be able to play right now anyway. But it would have popped when it did. So you bring in a guy like that, banking that kind of money, and then he's done for the season. What makes that any better than Davenport? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
this happens. So you wanted this player, and he would have been done. It would have been a huge mistake. This is exactly why I'm so against paying for a big time free agent making top 5% money in the league. This is why you don't do it, because injuries are going to happen. And it's not if, but when. And it usually happens to everybody. At some point throughout their career, they suffer something, whether it's a game or 2 games or 4 games or half a season or a full season. It's going to happen, right? You hope it doesn't happen to your guys. That's what the Lions are living with right now. What are we up to now? 35 guys on IR since the beginning of last year's training camp. 35. I think the number might even be more than that. That's asinine, man. It's crazy. But it happens, and that's why you don't pay big money for big time players. You want to breed your own, man. You want to bring them up. I also agree, fraud alert here for the 49ers. I think that they're a hollow team. I think someone else just said that too in the chat. Hollow team. Who else said that? I swear I just saw someone say that. But I think they're hollow. Like Christian McCaffrey, you never know what's going to happen with him. Nick Bosa down. Now Purdy's down. Mac Jones might be out. it just how did they move up 5 spots from 9 to 4? Just because they're 3-0? Like, power rankings are the word power is there for a reason. Are you the best of the best, or are you just part of the rest? Power rankings, to make it into the top 5, you have to be healthy. You have to have the right football players. You have to be dominant on the field. And to me, these power rankings by The Athletic don't speak to that. Not every team. Number 5. Number 5.
Mm-hmm.
They moved up from 6 from last week. I'm surprised that anyone even had this team at number 6. But The Athletic did, and it's your Detroit Lions now into the top 5 at 2-1. Put the beat down on the Ravens. Ben Johnson, who? Ben Johnson, who? After some week 1 rust, obviously they knocked it all off. Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions offense are back to being aggressive, explosive, fun play calling. What was that called? The triple I. It was called the Maryland something. What did he call it? The Maryland I? The Maryland I.
Yeah, the Maryland I.
The Maryland I. I mean, my goodness. They pulled a play out of Maryland to run it against them. Goff benefited from the strong running game, obviously, on Monday night. Y'all forgot about Montgomery. You better put that name back into your Rolodex. Monty is here to stay, man. The Bears royally screwed up. Thank you, Ryan Poles, for undervaluing David Montgomery. Bears do what Bears do, and I guess, they gave us an opportunity with the guy, and it's just been fun to watch. Tampa Bay at number 6, but before we get there, obviously you agree with the Lions being in the top 5. I think top 5 is good enough for me. I would put them ahead of the 49ers. I'd probably put them at number 4 right now, simply because of that reason. I don't believe in the 49ers. The Chargers are a good team, but I don't think that the Chargers also deserve to be ahead of the Lions. Why? Because the Lions have been a perennial winner for the last 2.5 seasons. So I'd put the Lions at number 3.
Yeah, that's exactly where I would put them. You have to take the record out of it. I'm looking at which team in a power ranking. Isn't it what team is doing the best with what games they've had so far? And not just so much the record, but like, because in college, they have their rankings that come out each week, right? We're number 1 this week, we're number 3, whatever. And it counts for something. Well, in the NFL, we don't have that. We just have these made up power rankings. So I think that the Detroit Lions right now are basically the hottest team in the NFL over the last 2 games. And they had the one clunker. And if you go back and watch that tape, they were not that far off. They really, really weren't. So even at the game, I didn't think it was all that bad. So I think that if you take what the Lions are doing now versus what they did week 1, I don't think any other of these other teams. If you put the Los Angeles Chargers and the Lions in a field right now, a neutral site, I think the Lions beat the Chargers. That's why I would put them above them. Not just because the Chargers have an undefeated season so far. They may have beaten 3 poor teams. I don't know. But the Ravens were not a poor
I think I
team
could
on
agree with
Monday.
that. I think that I could agree that we would beat the Chargers, but that's made for TV football right there. That's going to be a fun game. If and when we get there, right? I think the Chargers there's a reason why I said from the beginning of this season. Do you remember who my Super Bowl prediction was?
Lions Chargers.
That's what I put. Lions Chargers.
I don't know. I have this weird feeling that it's going to be Lions Bills. I don't know why. I think it's because I thought that's what was going to happen last year, and it's going to happen this year instead.
I'm rolling Chargers, man. I think that they're going to do enough to win. Like, I definitely feel like, and I haven't even looked at the rest of their schedule, but I can't imagine that their schedule is that hard, based on where they finished the last couple of seasons anyway, or at least last season. All right, to round out your top 10, then we're going to get off of this, is number 6, Tampa, number 7, Green Bay, number 8, Indianapolis Colts, number 9, the Los Angeles Rams, and number 10, the Baltimore Ravens. They slid down 5 spots.
Wow.
Number 11, the Commanders. Last week they were 11. Kansas City Chiefs all the way back to number 12. They actually improved, going 1-2 now. They went from 13 to 12. I don't think that that's accurate. I don't know how you can put the Vikings at 14. Like, they moved up. They moved up 6 spots because they had a crazy good game against this, crap Bengals team. So let's be real here. They don't belong anywhere sniffing the top 20. They don't have a quarterback that's healthy, right? Yeah, they have some weapons here or there, but they don't have a quarterback that's healthy. And even when he's in, I don't trust that team right now. Carson Wentz, yeah, he might be able to help your team, win a lot of football games. He could. But what does the long theory tell you? About the Minnesota Vikings right now. Great defense, good weapons on offense, quarterback play is shaky at best. The Lions, final point here. The Lions are the only 2-1 team in the top 5. And with the Green Bay Packers and the Rams, those are your only. Well, those are all 3 of those teams 2-1 in the top 9. Ravens are 1-2 in the top 10. Do the Ravens belong in the top 10?
I don't know, but that's why the Lions moved up, and
they only moved up 1 spot.
But listen, the Green Bay Packers were number 1 last week. Number 1. They lost to the Browns 13-10, and now they slid all the way to number 7 and behind the Detroit Lions.
Man, there's a lot of 1 and 2 teams right now.
That's because the Lions beat a team that was in the top 3. Because weren't the Ravens? Let's see.
They're 5 last week.
They were number 5.
Yeah.
So we put the whoopings on them.
Yeah, I probably would have dumped the Ravens behind the Commanders.
I probably would have too.
But it is what it is. My question in the poll was, should the Lions be ranked 3rd team in the league right now? And here's how you would answer that. Yes, they should be the 3rd ranked team. Yes, they should be the 3rd ranked team or better. That's kind of how you would answer that. Do they deserve to be at least the 3rd ranked team? No less than the 3rd ranked team, I guess, is probably how I should have phrased it. But right now with 23 votes, can we get another 20, 30 votes? I think there's like 100 plus people in right now. Let's get a few more votes right there. Just get on the screen and tap it. I'd like to see what you guys really think. Well, of course, now it dipped down a little bit more the more votes we get.
Yeah.
And if you don't think that they deserve to be the 3rd ranked team, let us know in the comments below after the show ends, or in the chat right now. Put up a number: 5, 6, 3, 10, 12, 31, whatever the number it is that you believe. What is it? Where is it? Do they belong? Okay, the reason why the Lions, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons right now that they're having some success, they have totally transformed what they're doing on offense. And they've come out swinging, man, with some big-time plays on offense. John Morton has absolutely, assuming it's John Morton and not Dan Campbell, right, has absolutely dialed up some good games. I think that I don't mince words about this. I think he's made some mistakes in some areas too. We do have to capitalize on turnovers. Without a doubt, you have to. You can't leave points on the board because you never know if you're really going to get another opportunity to get a stop. You don't know, especially against a team like the Ravens. We had no clue, that was going to happen into the 4th quarter, that we were just going to dominate and the Lions were going to get after. Crazy stat. The Lions are more aggressive this year than Aaron Glenn's defense last season. They blitzed. They blitzed the Ravens. I think the number was 47.8% of plays, and that was almost all in the fourth quarter. So they pinned back and went. Once they had a lead, they pinned their ears back and they started getting after him. The cool thing is, they were blitzing only one extra guy. Right? They were not leaving us strapped with, bringing 7 all the time. Or bringing, 6. They were bringing a natural 4+1 on a large majority of plays. But the real reason why the Lions are winning right now is this offensive line. I mean, they've batted 1,000 the last 2 weeks. Jared Goff stays clean. And you got to give your hats off, man. Huge, huge, huge applause to Jared Goff. That dude said last week, if I've got to stay in the pocket and eat one, I'll eat one. He ate a couple of shots in the Ravens game, and he delivered a strike as he's going down to the ground. But for most of the game, man, Penei Sewell, he's not giving anything up. On the field for 37 run blocking snaps, Sewell earned a 99.3 run blocking grade, overtaking Tony Richardson's Week 13 outing for the Minnesotas, which ironically came against the Detroit Lions. So while much of the focus has been on the Detroit Lions win over the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night, it's also been obviously on the Ravens' struggles. But in the trenches, it was an historic evening for Penei Sewell. He set a PFF record with the highest single game PFF grade by an offensive lineman in PFF history. In addition to the highest single game PFF run blocking grade of any player with 10 or more run blocking snaps in a game. Like I just said, 37 run blocking snaps, 99.3 against the Ravens. That is absolutely incredible. The most impressive part of that sample size, everyone else in the top 4 did so on less than half the snaps that Penei Sewell did or put on tape on Monday night. So he was on the field for, Penei Sewell was on the field as a run blocker. Let me read that apart again. It says everyone else in the top 4 did so on less than half the snaps that Sewell was on the field for as a run blocker, meaning that their highly graded plays would be more likely to skew the numbers overall. When you have a smaller sample size, numbers are usually higher if you're playing well. When you have a longer, sample size, a larger sample size, those numbers tend to dip. Not for Penei Sewell. His run blocking's always been excellent. It's the pass pro that he's had issues with. But he also had a 98.7 overall PFF grade in the game. It was also the highest ever for an offensive lineman. He beat Andrew Whitworth's 98.4 PFF mark for the Cincinnati Bengals back in Week 15 of 2010. That's how long that has stood, for 15 seasons. And then that game, Whitworth saw him post a higher PFF grade than Sewell this week, but the Lions star edges him thanks to the dominant run blocking grade. I'm sorry, my reading capability this morning is obviously terrible. Penei Sewell, 98.7 overall, Week 3 versus the Ravens. It is now the highest PFF grade for an offensive lineman between 2006 and 2025. It is all-time high against the run between 2006 and 2025 since PFF started doing this. Very, very impressive. Here's how we got the grade. How does someone secure a 99.3 PFF run blocking grade in a single game? For starters, he received a positive grade on 15 of 37 run blocking snaps, compared with a negative grade on just 5 of those plays. For context, no other offensive tackle this last week in Week 3 generated more than 8 positive graded plays for a run blocker, or as a run blocker. It was also the manner in which Penei Sewell delivered those blocks. The Lion Star recorded 5 blocks, which earned him a +1 PFF grade, 3 more than any other offensive tackle in Week 3. One such block came on one of the biggest plays of the night, the 72-yard run by David Montgomery. Sewell took on Roquan Smith at the second level, completely taking the All-Pro out of the play. That's how well he was playing. In the same week that saw Isaiah Rodgers set a record for the highest single game grade in PFF history, you can't sleep on what was an historic night in the trenches for Penei Sewell. Huge congratulations to him, man. This is the standard, right? This is what we expect for a guy like Penei Sewell, who's earning top money in the league for a right tackle and playing at a high rate. Thoughts on Penei Sewell?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And that was going to be one of my records for today, but
was it really?
Okay. Yeah. And he had a historic night, I thought, and he was all over the place. He was pulling, he was taking double teams, he was taking guys out. And on that play where David Montgomery had the 70+ yard run, he just took Roquan Smith out of that game. And that was in the secondary. That wasn't up on the line. And just amazing play from Penei Sewell. And I thank God that we wrapped him up when we did and got him extended. He's worth every penny of what we're paying for him. And I know his pass blocking grade was only like a 75 or a 78 the other night. But that's still really good. And we're up to the 30.
NFL 30 at 30, the final one of the day. Be right back.
Pressured by Hutchinson, he goes down again.
Okay, so the NFL 30 at 30 this week, it's a little bit off. Next week, it's going to be dialed in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's going to be very specific segments that we're doing at each one of these intervals. And right now, what I'd like to get to is, once I can get to it, with the top 5 total defense, passing, rushing, and scoring rankings. This will actually be Tuesday next week, but we missed it yesterday.
Okay.
Total defense right now. The Browns ranked number 1 in total defense, allowing 204.3 yards per game, allowing 8 TDs on the season. Falcons at number 2. Packers at number 3. 49ers at number 4. The Rams at number 5. The Lions are down at number 13. And I'm good with that, but we went down 3 spots, and I'm not real sure how we dropped 3 spots from last week. Last week we were ranked 10th, and that doesn't make any sense to me. Now, if this is going by overall yards, which is what it looks like, okay, it makes sense. But from a total defensive perspective, I think the Lions are much better than 13th. Passing defense, Falcons at 1, allowing 131 yards per game. Then the Bills allowing 131.3, Vikings the number 3 at 141.3, Browns the number 4. It's just going to be a tough defense, I'm telling you. 49ers at 5. Lions 15th right now in passing defense, and I'm pretty sure last week we were ranked 12th or 13th. I'll have to double check. Rushing defense, the Browns at number 1. We're going up against one of the best defenses in the league this Sunday. Patriots at 2, Packers at 3, Cardinals at 4, Jaguars at 5. Your Detroit Lions, a cliffhanger, hanging on at number 11, 99 yards per game on the ground allowed right now by the Detroit Lions. And scoring defense, this is the biggest number for me. This is where I say that if you can keep teams on average under 20 points per game throughout the season, you're going to win a lot of football games. Well, it's early right now to do all of these rankings. Last year, throughout the first 12 weeks of the season, The Lions only allowed 17 points or less per game by average. Right now, the Packers are at number 1 at 14.7. The Seahawks at number 2 at 15.7. The 49ers at number 3, 16.3 points per game. There were Chargers at number 4, allowing 16.7 points per game. And the Cardinals, number 5, tied with the Jaguars and Texans, allowing 17 points per game. Where do the Lions rank right now? And they are 23rd, allowing 26 points per game. Do I believe that number is going to get better? I do. I think the Lions will be very close to or under 20 by the time that this season is over. Red zone defense, Chargers are number 1, Broncos 2, Seahawks 3, Cardinals 4, Buccaneers 5, tied with the Packers at number 6, both allowing 42.9% defensive red zone TD rate. The Detroit Lions come in at number 20, allowing a defensive touchdown rate of 63.6% each game. And the last stat, third down defense, Commanders coming in at number 1, allowing 28.6% third down rate, which is basically saying how many times are you getting an offense into a third down situation, meaning they're not getting a first down on first down or second down. And then you have the Bears at number 2, Cardinals at number 3, Buccaneers at number 4, Vikings at number 5, and our Detroit Lions coming in at 30th, 50%. So they're allowing teams to get into a third down rate 50% of the time. But the real number is how many are they converting, right? How many are they converting? I don't know why it looks like my screen is and maybe it doesn't look that way on YouTube. Like my mouth doesn't line up with the words, and that is possible.
Oh.
It does happen from time to time.
Yep.
Bill Collier, welcome into the Lions faithful. And matter of fact, I think I did miss a couple more this morning. I apologize. I thought I did see some green things popping up. Big Papa, welcome into level 2. He joined the loyalty crew this morning. And Trace also sent out a membership this morning. Thank you, Trace.
It said that you sent out 5 earlier.
I did.
Right on.
I did. We're going to continue to do that every week. I'm going to give out multiple new memberships. Here's the goal with the membership. So even if you stay in at the lowest tier, that gets you, I think it's $3.99 a month. I'm changing up some of the verbiage. If you're in the elite tier, you get a coffee box every quarter. Every 3 months, you'll get a coffee box. I switched from monthly to quarterly simply because paying an extra $20 to $25 in shipping is not allowing for any profit to go back to the Cancer Foundation. Like our margins are so tight on coffee after all of the, tariff things and everything else. Believe it or not, we don't grow coffee beans in America, really. So they have to come from other places. Anyway, so every quarter is when they go out. So the next box is going out this week, and then it won't be again until December, which I'll make sure it gets out before Christmas. So it's going to change up a little bit. So we've been doing our own coffee, the Honolulu Blue Brew, and it's an extremely good coffee. They're expensive, really, really expensive beans. And you get beans, you don't get ground. And the reason why we do that is we want you to have the best flavor, best tasting coffee, period. And all you need is like a $12 or even a $15 grinder. And you can grind your own beans every morning. It's the best way to drink coffee, I promise you. But this time it's going to change up a little bit. We will do Honolulu Blue Brew, but now I'm partnering with some other people to be able to deliver some different styles of bags of coffee. So you might get some samples mixed in from other brews that maybe you like, maybe you don't, but you'll at least get Honolulu Blue Brew in your box. You might get a Detroit Lions brew in your box. You may get a Rouster brew in your box. There's plenty of partners that we're partnering with right now. And so that should be done and locked up by the next quarter. But I do have some surprises for this week. So What do you think about the rankings, man? Lions not quite there. Not quite where we want to see them defensively, but here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
We are better than where we were last year. Way better than where we were last year. Overall, I would say that, last year we were doing some things really well. Stopping the run and scoring defense were probably the only two metrics that we were like really good in. Passing defense was terrible, but it was terrible for a reason. I believe it's because, you're working from a lead. We let up a lot of points, a lot of easy passes underneath. This year, man, we're kind of hovering in that middle tier. And what's the one thing you and I always talk about, man? If this defense can get to a top 15 early and then top 10 by the end of the season, that's a Super Bowl caliber defense. If you can get into the top 10, that means that, you're doing a lot of things well. The Lions have a shot. We know that we're going to have a top 5 offense. There's no reason why we shouldn't. Like, the wheels shouldn't fall off now for the rest of the season, I hope. Knock on wood. It shouldn't fall off with the offense. I'm expecting the Lions to be both top 5 offense, top 10 defense. That was my early call in the preseason for this team. Special teams should always be near the top. I haven't been tracking any special teams metrics. I'll have to look some up. But what do you think about where we are defensively right now?
There's two things I did not like from what you were telling us about. I don't like our red zone defense, and I don't like our scoring defense. I don't care how many yards people get against us. Being the yardage king for a defense, I don't care. I don't care if we're number 1 in yardage. I want to be number 1 in scoring and red zone defense. Those are the two stats for defense that I want, because if you get those two things down, everything else takes care of itself. So our defense needs to let people score less and score less in the red zone. Those are the two things that I would be really, really working on to get under control. But other than that, I'm super happy with where we are right now. I think this team is turning the corner. And I think that, like we said before, this team may lose a game or two more than last year. But overall, I think we have a better team this year, and we're going to go farther in the playoffs this year than we did last year. I want a Super Bowl.
Definitely need a Super Bowl. Okay. I am probably going to work on the second elite tier for memberships. The second elite tier will be merchandise. Okay. So it'll be merchandise like Lion stuff. And it's not like you're going to get a, $100 Nike hoodie or something every quarter, but we got to have some sort of profit for the Cancer Foundation. So there'll be things included like game day pins. So if you don't go to the games and you want to collect the pins, we'll put game day pins in there, or other small merchandise. You might get a mini helmet, a signed mini helmet every quarter. It'd be something, right? We'll do something big enough that your collection can grow and that it's worth it, right? I mean, a mini helmet like the ones I just gave away. The Penei Sewell mini helmets, it's worth like $250, right? Yeah. And I just gave that away. So that's a huge gift to somebody when, no other channels do that stuff. But the reason why we're able to do that stuff is from all the members, all the donors, all the money that comes into this channel through ads. It all goes back out. It does go into the Cancer Foundation, and then a lot of it goes back out to the fans, because we are a true fan-driven channel. Right? We don't talk about it. We be about it here. We want to make sure that we give back more than we take in.
Did you get the package for me yet?
No, I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay. You should be getting something today.
Yeah. My stuff's going out today.
It's big. And I got some extra game day pins in there from like the Packer game and stuff. So
nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I sent some stuff out to a bunch of people. So if you got something for me, let me know when you got it, please.
Just make sure that when you get yours, that you come prepared on the show when you get it. It's kind of funny.
All right.
It's it's not funny,
ready.
but there's something in it that I think you'll enjoy. You get a kick out of it.
I know what it is. I'm ready.
You think you know what it is.
I'm gonna wear it on game day.
You think you know what it is.
I do know.
You think you know.
I'm gonna join the club.
Where was I?
Wear it with my cowboy hat.
Jeez. It's not Dan Campbell's underwear.
See, because I got the blue Lions hat, I got the black one coming too.
It's not. I'm telling you, it's not. It's not DC's draws. Not happening.
How'd you get them? That's what I wanna know.
That's a different story. All right, what's up next for you, man? What do you have?
All right, let's look at some Lions records from the other day, okay? So the Detroit Lions PR put out a bunch of records that have happened over the last couple of weeks. So over the last 2 weeks, the Detroit Lions became the first NFL team since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger to compile the following numbers over any 2-game span. 6 passing touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns, with 0 sacks and 0 turnovers. The first team in the last 55 years. Absolutely amazing, right? So then, the only times in NFL history a team has had 2 players log 250 plus scrimmage yards and 3 rushing TDs through the first 3 games of a season, that's this season with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. The last time it happened, 1960 with the Browns with Jay Brown and B. Mitchell. And then in 1958 with the Rams. So you're talking 65 years ago and 67 years ago. These guys are putting up historic stats, things that the modern NFL has never seen. Lions running back David Montgomery is the first player to rush for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns in a game for the Lions since who? Who was the last Detroit Lions to have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns?
Had to be Barry, dude. It had to be.
Well, Barry did it in a road game, but somebody else did it in a home game for the Detroit Lions. Since then, does anyone know who it is?
What was the date? Since when?
So, oops, I gotta get my chat back up here. I don't see anybody saying it yet, but so this is the stat. David Montgomery is the first Lions player to rush for 150 yards and 2 TDs in a game since blank did it in 2002. Do you know the player? And he was a free agent that we picked up, and he actually was pretty good for the Lions.
I think I know.
And he was a big boy.
I think I know. Oh, he was big?
Yeah, he was a big running back. I want to see if anybody remembers who he is.
It wasn't AP. He wasn't big.
There. David Napier got it. James Stewart.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so James Stewart did it in 2002, and in 1997, Barry Sanders did it on the road, just like David Montgomery. And the only times the Lions have produced at least 11 sacks through the first 3 games of a season, 2025, 2010, 1997, and 1983. So Calvin Shepard's defense is the first to do it in 15 years, to have 11 sacks through the first 3 games of a season. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery each rushed for 2 touchdowns last Sunday. The only other times Detroit has had 2 players rush for 2 touchdowns in the same game was on November 15th, 1936. And that was Dutch Clark and Ernie Cadell.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. This was before my grandpa was born. I mean, come on. 1936 was the last time we had 2 running backs each get 2 touchdowns in a game. Absolutely amazing.
You know what I didn't do this year?
Yeah.
I didn't do any Lions Legends work over the summer.
Oh,
We didn't do any.
Yeah.
Normally I try to do some Lions Legend series and man, I know some of those are still up on the channel. It was just awful video and audio, but the work was there, right? The information was there. But man, you got to love the Lions Legends, man. Just going back and revisiting, learning things about your past, you know?
Yep. And this might be my favorite record right here. The Detroit Lions have topped 900 total net yards and 90 points over the last 2 games. The only other time they've produced 900 plus net yards and 90 plus points over any 2-game span was 1950. So it's been a long time since the Detroit Lions have had 900 yards in 2 games. So everybody talking about John Morton not being a good offensive coordinator and we're going to fall off and it's going to be the end of the world and the Lions window is closing. They're all wrong. I think the Lions window is wide open. And there's a lot of people having to eat some crow this week since everyone and their brother picked the Ravens to win that game in the national media. I could not find one person from any national media outlet anywhere that picked games for last weekend and did not pick the Ravens to win that game. And the Ravens were only a 400 or 4.5 point favorite.
I got absolutely crushed this week. So look, week 3 usually carries a lot of upsets. And so I went upset heavy in my picks and I was going for it. I was second nationally against the NFL expert picks, which you'll see on the Detroit Football Journal. And now I'm second from last. I terrible week for me. I went. Did
any of them pick the Lions to win?
You know what? That's a good question. I'd have to pull up my article, but
I couldn't find anybody that picked the Lions last week. Anyone?
Anywhere. I wasn't the only one that had a bad week, and even though my week was 7-9, worst week I've ever had. Even though I'm second from last, like I'm still within earshot of being able to inch my way back up into first place. It's just I need to have a couple of good weeks, and there were some other guys that did the same thing as me, and ended up going 7-9. So I'm not the only one that was thinking this is going to be one of those weeks. I just picked some. I don't know. I put my Dan Campbell draws on. I guess my nuts are too big for the week.
Yeah,
and I didn't capitalize.
I forgot to do any picks at all whatsoever the last 2 weeks. I just did my betting that I always do in my fantasy football, and I just forgot about making picks. I didn't put it out on social media, nothing. So I got to make sure I do that this week.
There was hold on.
Somebody trying to make up some ground.
No, week 3.
Yeah.
There's 2 people that picked the Lions.
Oh, wow.
This lady, last name Kahler, Kahler. I don't know her first name. And the other lady, Theory, Thiry, Theory. Those are the only 2 people, analysts, that picked the Lions, both women. And so Wickersham, I don't know how he goes 8-8 on the week when there's 16 games. There's 16 games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he went 8-8. 2 other people went 9-7. One person went 7-9 with me, which was Dan Graziano. And one person went 13-3. 3 people went 11-5. And yeah, right now I was in second place, and now I'm second from last, going 7-9 this week. But it's okay. I'll bounce back. My overall record right now for the season is 30-18. And had I not gone nutty, I got one out of 7 upsets right. Now, I had the Rams over the Eagles. That should have been a Rams win.
Yep.
I had the Bengals.
You had to have had the Packers.
I had the Bengals over the Vikings. Well, that clearly wasn't going to be close. I had the Giants over the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I had the Broncos over the Chargers. I had the Raiders over the Commanders, and I had the Patriots over the Steelers. The only one I won this week was the Lions over the Ravens.
You must have picked the Packers over the Browns.
Not in this one.
No.
No, wait. Yeah, I
You had
had
the
to have.
Browns?
I had to have. Wait a second. Packers. Yes, I picked the Packers. I'm sorry, but that wasn't an upset. I was talking about my upsets.
Oh, okay. Your upsets. Okay.
Yeah, those are the 7 upsets that I picked, and only one of them cashed in, which was the Lions. So, yeah, terrible week for me, man. Terrible.
Oh, I would have gotten so many games wrong.
But if you want to follow
all these-
along, here's the article. If you guys want to
all
follow
the
along,
block
it's free to
field goals.
subscribe. I mean, it will open up. The paywall will open up after like a week or so of the articles being out. So you'll be about a week behind unless you want to support the channel that way. You can certainly, but I'm not asking you to do that. But it is free to subscribe. Let me end this one. And let me end this one about should the Lions be ranked 3rd? Okay, now we have 49 votes. That's a lot better. 82% say yes. All right, 82% say yes. We got a few. Are you 10 o'clock today?
Yeah.
You're 10 o'clock today. Because there's one other thing that I wanted to get into.
All right. And
Real
I'll save
quick.
my NFC North report for tomorrow.
If you think you can run it in 6 minutes, go for it.
You want me to do that right now?
Yeah, go for it.
I can.
Yep,
okay.
do it.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it fit. I'll try to be really quick. So up first, the Minnesota Vikings. JJ McCarthy is still on the mend while Jordan Addison returns from suspension. Kevin Seifert of ESPN reported Monday that the Minnesota is more than confident in playing backup quarterback Carson Wentz for at least 1 and probably 2 more starts before JJ McCarthy returns from a right ankle injury. The Vikings have a bye following their return from Europe, which represents the 1-month point or the maximum of 4 weeks that Schefter reported for McCarthy's recovery. ESPN's Adam Schefter initially reported that McCarthy could miss between 2 and 4 weeks, which included last week's game against the Cincinnati Bengals. McCarthy will join the team for its 2-week trip to Europe that features a contest with the Pittsburgh Steelers in Dublin next Sunday before a game against the Cleveland Browns in London the following week. Receiver Jordan Addison was reinstated on Monday after completing a 3-game suspension arising from a DUI-related guilty plea. The NFL has given the Vikings a 2-day roster exemption until Wednesday. They'll need to create a spot on the 53-man roster by then for Addison. In his 3rd season, Addison had 911 receiving yards as a rookie and 875 receiving yards in 2024. He scored 20 total touchdowns so far. The Minnesota Vikings are set for an international matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 4, taking the field at Croke Park in Dublin, Ireland on Sunday at 9 a.m. The Vikings are a 2.5-point favorite over the Steelers. Then the Packers. The Packers get tough injury news coming out of a Browns loss. The injuries are beginning to mount for the Packers, and the onslaught continued in Sunday's heartbreaking loss to the Cleveland Browns. With Zach Tom and Aaron Banks both banged up, joining Jaden Reed among the offensive players battling through injuries, the Packers defense took a blow of its own on Sunday afternoon. Safety Javon Bullard is in the concussion protocol following a brutal hit during Sunday's loss to the Browns, according to Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. Bullard, 23, was knocked from the game late in the 4th quarter after posting 4 total tackles with 1 tackle for loss against the Browns. The former 2nd-round pick in the 2024 draft out of Georgia is a young player the Packers are optimistic about becoming a dominant force in the secondary alongside All-Pro Xavier McKinney. And through 3 weeks, he's posted 18 total tackles with 1 tackle for loss. The Green Bay Packers head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys at 8:25 on Sunday night. The Green Bay Packers are 7-point favorites And this is a homecoming of sorts for Micah Parsons, who will look to get his first sack and win against his former team. I hope he gets neither. And finally, we have the Chicago Bears. What in the world? The Bears. Yes, the Bears are road favorites for the first time under Ben Johnson. Well, maybe not. The Chicago Bears, fresh off of a commanding victory against the Dallas Cowboys, have found themselves in a curious position as the Week 4 matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders approaches. Despite not winning a meaningful road game since the end of the 2023 season, the Bears opened as road favorites against the Raiders. However, the betting landscape has shifted, prompting odd makers to reassess their confidence in Chicago ahead of the game at Allegiant Stadium. Initially, the Bears' victory led Vegas to declare them as road favorites against the Raiders. However, reality soon set in. The line has since adjusted, reflecting a more cautious outlook, with the game now resembling a pick'em scenario. This is a stark reminder of the volatility in sports betting, where 1 week can drastically alter perceptions and predictions. The Chicago Bears play the Las Vegas Raiders at 4:25 this Sunday in Las Vegas. And currently, the Bears are a 1.5 point favorite, or basically a pick'em. So if you thought the Bears were finally going to be a road favorite, it's just not happening. And that's your NFC North report for Wednesday, September 24th.
All right, it's 10 o'clock, buddy. I appreciate you. Good report. I missed some of it, but
That's all right.
Well, I was trying to do some things behind the scenes here. I got the counter fixed, and then I just wanted to send out another quick big shout out. Elaine Hill also just joined the Lions Faithful. So big shout out to you, Elaine. Thank you for your support of the channel. And then once again, congratulations and thank you to all of the new members this morning. We got Elaine Hill, Bill Collier, Big Papa. And thank you to Trace for sending out a member gift. Can't do it without you guys. You guys are a big reason why, the only reason why we're even here. So thank you. This channel doesn't exist without all of the members, subscribers, listeners, and everybody else that has donated or been part of this channel, contributed, the host, the co-host, the guests, you name it. It takes a village to pull this off. So can't do it without you guys. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna keep going here for a few moments. So all right. I'll catch you tomorrow, buddy. Have a good day.
Yep. See you guys.
All right. Countdown's fixed. Let's move on. Legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Did you guys believe or not believe that the Lions should be Super Bowl contenders this season? After week 1, a lot of fans kind of jumped ship. Same fans that probably jumped on the ship the last couple of seasons. Lions were not going to win any football games. Jared Goff was trash, and the offensive line was pitiful, and you heard it all, right? You heard it all. What a couple of weeks does for a team in the NFL. And the biggest question that I have for the doubters and the people that, I don't know why they do this every year. But the real season, yes, it starts week 1. It absolutely does. And you want to come out of the box swinging, right? Or you want to come out of the corner swinging, I guess I should say. You want to come out of the gates running hard. The Lions, every year, just seem to climb, right? They climb at a rate that continues to go up. Every season, by week 4 is when this team usually is sprinting. We did come out hot the last couple of seasons with points. But the team overall usually takes a few weeks to get going. We're now entering week 4. We've seen a great performance from the defense. We've seen 2 really good performances, great performances from the offense, stellar performances from the offensive line. I would say that this team is in rarefied air compared to the last 3 seasons. from where the way that they usually start to where they are today, I think it's night and day. I think this team is obviously accelerating on the cohesion. You can forget about the coordinator part of it, right? That narrative is dead now. It does not exist anymore. Some people are still going to talk about it, right? Every time the Lions lose, that's going to be the first thing they write. See? Coordinators. That's why the Lions lost. No, the Lions lost a game throughout the season because they lost. They weren't healthy. They didn't plan right, right? Whatever the excuse can be. You lose, you lose. But it's not because of the coordinators. These are the most elite athletes in the world. These are the most elite coaches in the world. You should be able to win every game that you put the effort in as long as you have the players on the sideline and they're not injured, right? There's a million ways you can slice this pie. But at the end of the day, I don't care what coordinator you have in there. It's just an easy excuse. I do care what players you have in there because we know, as we've seen last year, well, we pretty much controlled the rest of the regular season with our backups backup. But once you got into the postseason and you're going up against the elite teams of that year, the teams that have found a way to win more often than not, that's when the rubber meets the road, and those are going to be the hardest games to win when you're not operating with a full tank of gas. But this team is operating at a high level right now. I don't think that we have any cylinders with, I don't think we have any dead cylinders. Let's put it that way. Special teams is doing well. Yeah, we gave up one big run back over the weekend. Not what you want to see, but they don't do it all the time. The biggest thing that I forgot to talk about today was probably Jake Bates. I'll touch on that in just a second. But Super Bowl contenders we are. On Monday night, beating the Ravens didn't change that. And it definitely didn't create that narrative. The Lions were Super Bowl contenders before the season started. I know that there was a lot of doubt. We've put our strengths and weaknesses out there, our unbiased reviews. We didn't finish it, but we got through part of it. And I think a lot of us were concerned about the interior offensive line. That is starting to fade. As long as they stay healthy, I'm less and less worried every week. It doesn't mean that we're going to go sack-free the rest of the season. It doesn't mean that, someone's going to miss a block. It doesn't mean that. That's part of the game. But what it does mean is that this offensive line is operating at a much better level than where they were before. The name that I just see in the chat right now, Al-Qadim Muhammad. Yeah. We had depth. Dan didn't lie to you. Brad didn't lie to you. No, this was not a blurred vision on a Monday night to, make you forget that we don't have Davenport for a few weeks or that we need another edge rusher. Like Dan told you Monday night after the game, look, I don't need people telling me what we do and what we don't have. I think it's pathetic that people continue to drive the narratives about the edge. It's probably never going to stop. It's probably never going to stop. It is what it is. As long as the Lions continue to go and win and do what they're supposed to do, there's no reason why they're not a Super Bowl contender. This window that people talk about, I mean, it's been a narrative for years. There is a perceived window, I guess, when you have players entering their prime and, the salary cap is at a manageable level and your draft picks are hitting, they're playing well. So, yeah, you would say that there is a window that is wide open right now for the Lions because all of those things are happening. The majority of our draft picks are playing well. A lot of them are elite. Brad is hit on an incredible rate. Jared Goff is playing the best football he's ever played. But he's been doing that for 3 seasons. he's just getting better and better and better. He's like a fine wine. The longer he sits, the better he gets. The more time you give him in the pocket, the worse off your defense is going to be. So Super Bowl contenders, 1,000%. I've never wavered from this. I'm never going to waver from this, even if we lose a few more games this year, which is expected. This is a very tough schedule. We may get lucky. There may be, a star quarterback or two that are out for a game that gives the Lions an opportunity. But as you saw with the Vikings this weekend, if you have a really high quality backup like a Carson Wentz, hey, anything can happen. Anything can happen. But like Dan Campbell said, man, our hardest workers are our best players. It's not lip service. It's not fake. Our best players are our hardest workers. Go out and watch them practice. We did. Went to multiple again this year. And it's like that every day. I believe that because we see the results. And so that's the standard. That's the standard. I love the fact that they're using the word standard more this year. When the Motor City Mullet comes back and makes his grand re-entry, he talks about the standard quite a bit. The standard's a standard. And it's always going to remain that way. The Lions have a standard to uphold. And last season, it started with the defense and continuing to do what you need to do every week. Dan Campbell goes on to say that, so if you're not up to the standard, with the effort matching what our best players do, then you're not going to be around here very long. I love that. I absolutely love that. The fact that they're not going to sit here and just let you flame out and not put your best foot forward. You need to go in and put the hardest work in every single day and match the intensity of the rest of the players. You may not be as good of an athlete. You may not be as good of a pass catcher. You may not be as good of a runner of the football. You may not be as good of a tackler. But that doesn't mean that your effort can't be as high as everybody else. This team is all about effort. And what we witnessed Monday night was, my God, man, that was such a swarming defense. And like I said, I expected this to be the best defense we've ever seen in Detroit history. It could be. It's slowly getting there. We need a couple of guys to stay healthy, and we need Aidan to ratchet it up another level week to week. Aidan will get back. We know one thing about Aidan. It's his will to do anything that he knows that he can do it. He will do it. His effort, like Dan said, he was asked a question the other day. The question was something like, did you have to help Aidan through anything, while he was going through his rehab? And I think Dan's comment was something like, after the first few weeks where he's kind of getting through the initial parts of the rehab, and then he's finally up and he's able to walk a little bit. I think he said that he kind of checked in on Aidan at that point, but really Aidan was already going a million miles an hour and already taking care of what needed to be taken care of. That's why I'm not as worried about Aidan getting back to the level. The first few games been kind of tough for him. Last game, catching fire there in the last quarter and a half. He showed up big. It's exactly what we expect of Aidan, to show up big when the lights are the brightest and the plays are the biggest. He showed up. And Aidan has done that every single season. Now it's just doing it in quarter one, quarter two, quarter three to get to that dominant level that we need him to get to. But it's players like Aidan that have set this bar of effort. It's players like Amon-Ra St. Brown that have exceeded the bar of effort after practice, 202 every day. It's the players like Isaac Tesla, a rookie, coming in and mimicking what St. Brown does. Because to him, that's the standard. Amon-Ra St. Brown is the standard. We practice like he does. We do what he does. And so it's this mentality that will take this Lions team to the next level. We've been flirting with a Super Bowl run for the last 2 seasons. Last year wasn't going to happen after all those injuries. Yeah, we still lied to ourselves. We thought that we had a chance. We did, theoretically. Too many injuries, man. Terry and Arnold right now, he needs to get up to the level. But I don't think he has to get up to the level of effort. I think that he gives the effort. But the level of play on the field is not there yet. So we'll see. We'll see what it is this week. We'll see how much he's involved in the game. And we'll see where it goes, right? And I think he'll be just fine over time. He's still a young football player. Dan Campbell has a tremendous amount of respect and trust for all of these guys, as do I. I think that this is some fun stuff that we're watching right now. It's been an incredible 3 weeks already. And week 4 against your Cleveland Browns is going to be no different. This is going to be a very tough test. As I said earlier in the defensive rankings, they are in the top 5 of every major category. The Lions pull this out and put on a good display, they'll probably shoot up to number 1. As far as number 1 meaning the most or highest probability to make the Super Bowl. If you can beat this defense, and if you can beat them by a lot, that shows a lot. You beat them by a little, that's probably expected. But if you put a whooping on these guys against this style of a defense, that's what's not expected. It's not expected of any team right now. So we'll see how far the standard exceeds this week. And we'll see how our standard continues to thrive tomorrow morning, back here on the Rise and Grind Morning Show. Thank you guys for joining us today. We'll see you guys back tomorrow. I'm really going to try to get some things out today, but I've got a doctor appointment I got to get to right now. So you guys take care. Go Detroit Lions. We'll see you tomorrow. It's game time, Detroit, and you found the right place for the latest Detroit Lions news. So hop on in and take the ride to Super Bowl 60 with Rocked On Detroit Lions. Join Will Rock, Eric Rintamaki, and Riley O'Brien today on the Rise and Grind Morning Show. Good morning.